Hello everybody and welcome to the next game of the DelotA 2 Amateur Tournament. I am Just Delicious and with me, as always, is the voluptuous Vague Raconteur.
Well, yes, indeed. Hello, and welcome to Entropy versus the very beautifully named Pussy Patrol. I'm just going to ask JD to make sure his mic is turned on for all the people that watch on Dota instead of on our Twitch.
I literally just did it. I remembered as I started the stream, and it is done. So everybody can hear me if you're watching in game, which is good news because normally you can't because I'm really not used to it.
We haven't had that long, only about 50 billion games to get ready to it. But we'll go straight into the bans, and if we look, Entropy banning Wisp. Now, obviously, they're not very comfortable with the whole global strat tactic, and it is a very difficult one to deal with. But Pussy Patrol, very much banning to the European meta, which, as we know, as we've seen Entropy play before, is pretty much the only meta they play by. They don't really go for any Chinese picks or anything else. They just really go for as European as they can, and banning up Batrunner and Nyx Assassin means that one of the best supports and the very best mid has already gone, so it's going to be very difficult for Entropy to really deal with it because they rely on those heavy picks.
Yeah, they do. I do really expect Entropy to ban out Magnus now a little bit. It would be a little bit of a mistake if they decided not to. But yeah, the Wisp ban, he got banned out very soon, probably just because a lot of pro teams are starting to favour Wisp strats now. The Chinese meta has sort of merged with the European one a little bit. Now that both metas have been able to come against each other, and Wisp is a very a good pick at the moment. As is people like Enchantress actually that we haven't seen in this tournament very often, but a lot of pro teams are starting to pick up Enchantress now. And Pussy Patrol get the Magnus as Entropy give it up.
Well, I was going to say when you were done that actually I expect that Entropy to pick up an Invoker to counter that Magnus in mid, because Invoker is an amazing counter to Magnus, and I know that one of the players in particular is very strong with the Coswex Invoker, so we're likely to see that. But Keeper of the Light, the first pick up, very good pick, especially considering Nyx Assassin has gone. It could be very much expected for a Shadow Demon to appear now, but no, they go for the early carry, as so many teams do, and they've gone for a Gyrocopter, which pretty much cancels out a Phantom Lancer if Pussy Patrol wanted to pick up that.
But look at the team that Pussy Patrol have got so far. They've got a Magnus and a Darkseer, and you have to say, these two heroes are two of the strongest heroes in the game. Darkseer with his vacuum and a wall, and Magnus obviously just for that reverse polarity, which is so strong. If Darkseer can get a good vacuum with the reverse polarity, Entropy are just going to absolutely get slaughtered in the team fights. Their positioning is going to have to be spot on to try and do something against this team. But giving away Magnus and Darkseer, a little bit of a dodgy one, but Entropy obviously know what they're doing against it, because it's pretty obvious that those two heroes were going to get picked up if you leave them in the pool. They are the two of the strongest heroes in the game at the moment. So Entropy obviously know what they're doing, and as we said, that Invoker going mid against Magnus could give him a pretty tough time going Coswex. So we will probably be expecting that at some point. But they're going to have to do it soon, or Pussy Patrol are going to ban him.
Absolutely, and the interesting thing is we're going to see a clash of styles now. We're going to see a very much ranged team from Entropy if they know their stuff, and I'm sure they do, versus a very much Pussy Patrol who want to get Entropy as close together as they possibly can. Now they have help with that. They have reverse polarity to pull people together if the position is slightly out, and they have vacuum, but Pussy Patrol have picked up the Warlock, so if it works so well with vacuum, it works even better with reverse polarity. We are in for a huge amount of team fight if Pussy Patrol pull it off.
Well, the problem that this Warlock pick is pretty big. I mean, he's another support hero that's been picked up a lot more recently, and his fatal bonds are just so annoying. And that Golem, just if Entropy even attempt to start a fight, they're not going to be able to do anything just because of this Warlock Golem counter initiation is so huge. And initiating with that Golem and then going into a Darkseer vacuum with the reverse polarity could quite easily wipe a team. And the range on that Golem, it hits such a large AoE that Entropy's positioning has literally got to be perfect. If they find themselves even very slightly out of position for even a second or two, that Warlock is going to just jump on them immediately, and they're going to get comboed down so fast.
Absolutely. Interestingly, Pussy Patrol not countering out the idea that Gyrocopter may be used as a mid-hero by banning the Phantom Lancer, so they are cautious. They obviously don't want PL, and although it would be very unrealistic, but now they've got Phantom Lancer banned, because obviously they weren't going to pick them themselves against Gyrocopter, it'll be interesting to see exactly what they go for. We've seen a lot of Lifestealers go against Gyrocopter, albeit not successfully. But, this could be the first game to see that happening, and they are a very position-heavy team, so we could very likely see a Sven for Vacuum and Reverse Polarity, plus that Sven AoE stun would be very, very useful to them. I'm finding it a little bit strange that Pussy Patrol haven't banned out the Invoker when it's obviously the best kind of choice they could have gone for to stop Magnus being countered, but maybe they feel confident against it. It's kind of unsure. But obviously Entropy banning out Faces Void and Luna, they don't want any hard carries to go into there, and it's a pretty good strategy. They haven't got their hard carry yet. They've got one on every single lane from Pussy Patrol, so it's going to be interesting to see what they pick up next.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But looking at the hard carries and who they can pick, you're looking at maybe a Luna right now. Luna would be such a good pickup. Those glaives being used to tremendous effect with the reverse polarity in the Darkseer vacuum. So a Luna would be a very nice pickup, although actually, I didn't notice. Entropy actually banned Luna. So Entropy just banning all of the carries in the world and giving away Sven. And Pussy Patrol will immediately pick the Sven. He was obviously the one they were looking at because that was a very, very fast pick. And yeah, he's fallen off very slightly in this meta. I mean, Luna and Phantom Lancer have been chosen above him with the Gyrocopter, but he is still a tremendous force. And if one good reverse polarity and Sven can easily demolish this really, really weak Entropy team. And there's the Invoker.
Yeah, as I was saying, Sven is the best pick for them without a doubt, and I'm really surprised Entropy decided to ban out Anti-Mage instead, because he would have easily been a nicer hero for them to go against, because Sven is going to give them an absolute nightmare now, unless they randomly choose to, I don't know, they'd have to do some very weird laning, maybe put Gyrocopter in mid and Invoker in the off lane or something, to have a Lifestealer to go against that Sven, who's probably the best counter for it. But Gyrocopter versus Sven, it'd be difficult to call.
Well, if Gyrocopter can position himself right, then he's definitely going to have a nice time against Sven when it comes down to the hard carry role. And the reason they banned out this Anti-Mage is because Anti-Mage is so difficult to gank. They would not be able to take him out, and they can easily kite a Sven. You just cannot kite Anti-Mage with the team that they wanted. And against Invoker, Anti-Mage would just rule supreme. So there was reason they banned him out. They really wanted to get that Invoker pick, and they couldn't let Pussy Patrol pick up an Anti-Mage against him just because of how skewed that fight would be. Invoker having to pop all of his mana at the beginning of a team fight, and then if Anti-Mage can just blink into the middle after a reverse polarity and maybe uses ultimate on Invoker, then that's a lot of AoE damage to anyone caught in the reverse polarity if they do get Invoker in it. So there was reason they banned him out, and a pretty good ban as well.
Yeah, I'm just considered that maybe Sven would have been the better choice, but to ban, because, well, actually maybe the Luna would have been a better choice to get rid of in replacement for the Sven, because it wouldn't quite have worked as nicely. Of course, all of the four hard carries we're talking about here have some very amazing AoE, so either way it would have been a pretty nasty time. But yeah, it's hard to say. I think Entropy are caught here.
Yeah, they did have a little bit of a problem because all of those carries would have been very good against them. But I do think they made the right choice. You can kite Sven so much easier than you can Luna and Anti-Mage. So that's probably what they're relying on now. They really just kind of want to kite him and keep him locked down in these big fights, or just keep running away from him is absolutely fine. He can't catch up. He's got Warcry to make him a little bit faster, but Invoker can really shut him down with a cold snap. So yeah, that's probably what they're going to be looking to do, and they really want to just keep that Sven locked down. But Jakiro being picked up last by Pussy Patrol, one of the strongest supports, he will be going with Warlock to help this Sven, and that's an exceptionally strong tri-lane.
Well, and now the Klink's picked up for the offlane, so it will be Darkseer versus Klinks, and it's difficult to say exactly who would win that. Klink's being ranged obviously gets a big advantage of just being able to take out whatever Iron Shell think creep is around, or just avoid it entirely. But he might be able to catch out Darkseer. It'd be very difficult for him with Surge, but once he gets an Orchid, Darkseer will be in trouble.
Yeah.
But the big question is, try v try, is it going to work? Obviously, Invoker can be a great counter to Magnus if he's played properly. I'm sure he will be. But let's just go over the Radiant and the Dire now. Of course, as always, JD will be covering the Radiant, and I will switch over to the Dire.
Indeed, we will see Chemistry taking up the Gyrocopter. Savage will be on that Invoker going mid. FaZe will be on the Clinks. Rodent on the Rubik. And Life Clown will be taking up the Keeper of the Light.
Meanwhile, if we go to top, if we go to the Dire, we have Denied on the Sven. We have How You Like Me Now on Magnus. We have Ninja on Jakiro. Aaron on the Warlock. And finally, we have Dux on the Darkseer.
Yeah, so as we were saying, if this does end up being try v try, I'm not entirely sure whether it will. It won't actually. They're not going to be try versus try. So Clinks is going to have a nightmare of a time against this ridiculously strong tri lane that is coming out from Pussy Patrol, and they have sentries already. As soon as they know they're up against Clinks, Warlock's going to hold on to those. They're going to gank him a lot, and I don't think Clinks has really got anything to fight against them, because if they can catch him out of a sentry, he's just straight up dead. He actually has pretty much no escape mechanism, and the amount of disables that they have is absolutely supreme, and these Fatal Bonds as well can really hurt Clinks, because he doesn't have a high HP pool, and if he can bond him to a few creeps every now and again, he can really keep him locked down. Oh, look at bottom though. Yeah, look at bottom, because Dux has actually got caught. Does Chemistry have the stun? He got Rocket Barrage at level 1. Are they going to get him? Nice telekinesis from Rubik. Life Clown draws first blood. He probably should have left it for Chemistry. Chemistry was just about to actually get it with a Rocket Barrage, but they're not going to care. They managed to get him immediately. The top tries to dive FaZe, but they're not going to be able to pick him up. And a good start shout out from Dux after he gets sniped by a really nice play by Entropy getting into the jungle, and maybe a little bit slack positioning by Dux got him killed there as telekinesis caught him a few times. They managed to get the kill.
Well, he's going to be a lot more cautious now, and he does have the ability to escape. That is a decent amount of disable on the lane. If Homing Missile hits him, obviously then he's in trouble, because telekinesis will work so beautifully with Rocket Barrage. And Mana Leak might work quite nicely, considering Darkseer will constantly be using up all the mana he can, making those iron shells. But we have to point out that it's... Oh my god, look at top! That actually... Ninja using an invisibility rune to come up behind him in Ice Path, but FaZe just instantly goes out of it because his team weren't there. That's really quite bad on their part, because if PPa were there, they would have easily got the kill. But FaZe is going to have a difficult time. It's probably best for them to switch.
Well, watch this. Watch this, because I'm pretty sure Aaron's going to pop up the sentry now, and they're going to try and dive him, but he didn't. That's surprising. I was really the Ice Path had hit. I was expecting the sentry to get popped and denied just to throw up that stun and try and get him, because he almost certainly would have died. If you check his HP, he's only on 300 HP. A few right clicks would have easily brought him down. The sentry finally gets put down. Sentry finally gets put down. If FaZe doesn't realise, he could be in a little bit of trouble when this lane gets pushed back.
It's a little bit of slack behaviour there from the Warlock, but it'll be fine. This Clinks is going to have a nightmare though. He can't do anything against this team, so he's just going to desperately absolutely have to swap if he wants any chance, or he's just going to hope that Pussy Patrol give him a decent time. What else can they do? Yeah. They've had a little bit of a mess up so far with Aaron twice now, so while this Jakiro is incredibly on the ball, always landing these ice passes, doing such a good job already just 2 minutes in, it's going to be difficult if the Warlock isn't on there as well.
Yeah, it really is. And Savage is not having a very nice time mid against Magnus. And this shockwave spam, now that Magnus has his bottle, is just absolutely ripping this Invoker apart. If he can hit 1 or 2 shockwaves every once in a while, he's going to quite easily destroy him in lane, although that one completely missed. So that's going to give Invoker a little bit of breathing room as he tries to max his quads, get as much HP regen as possible, and just try to survive against this Magnus in lane, because I doubt he's going to be able to do anything against him. And what is interesting is that Invoker hasn't picked up his Invoke, and he's now level 4.
Well, would you look at that? I'm sorry, that's stupid. That's actually quite stupid of somebody to do. But to put it into double Wex, especially, he should be regenerating his health right now. There's no question of it. This is wrong. This is bad for him to do. He should have got his Invoker level 2. It definitely put into Quaz. Don't put any more into Wex, because you need all the regen you can get, Invoker. But well, he's going to have such a nightmare now against this Magnus.
Well, look at how much damage Magnus is doing with the shockwaves. He has a haste rune as well. As soon as he gets to level 6, you can almost be certain he is going to be roaming around and using that to gank wherever he can. Probably bottom lane. I mean, bottom lane looks fine. If they can get a good reverse polarity, then Dux is going to be able to easily pick 1 or 2 off with an Ion Shell because they're so weak. So that's almost certainly what's going to happen. As we just watch a little bit of harass come up at top. FaZe just trying to nick the creeps that was pulled. He actually manages to get one, so a nice play by him. But I don't think anything's going to come of this. I don't think he's going to get killed. They don't have any more sentries, so basically at the moment both teams just vying for farm.
Absolutely, and now FaZe is this Savage is going to probably do a little better. He's finally got his Invoker level 5. And we should see him put a bit more in quads, provided he does, and everything should be a lot better for him, because ultimately, once you've got 3 points in quads, it's a lot easier to come up against the Magnus, and if you keep your distance, it's difficult for Shockwave to actually land.
Oh yeah, definitely. As long as he stays on the high ground, doesn't tell Magnus where he is, he's going to be landing. He's not going to be landing many shockwaves. So Savage looking down bottom, he could be picking up the rune, although Magnus has a haste. Is Magnus going to get there first? I'm not entirely sure who's going to get there first. Oh, the skewer doesn't actually hit. So Savage manages to pick it up, and now they're going toe to toe. It looks like Savage is probably going to have the best of this. There's the tornado. A few right clicks will do it. If he goes into Wex now, he's got the movement speed to catch up. One more right click would have got the kill, and he backs off.
It's that kind of classic thing of a player not knowing when to keep on going when you would have easily got the kill, but well, he was very, very close. That was quite nicely done.
I'm going to have to show you down to bottom actually, because they're catching up Dux again. They're waiting for him to use the surge before they go for it, although he hasn't used it now. Chemistry, is he going to use Rocket Barrage? He doesn't have any in his homing missile, so he couldn't stun him. He's going more for hard carry. He's going for the farm, and Dux manages to get away. He survives barely. And Life Clown just continues to spam that under the tower, and that's going to annoy Darkseer an awful lot. But I think the only reason Invoker backed off was because he didn't want to go up to the high ground. They were missing a few of them, and if he'd gone up to the high ground, then almost certainly, if there was one other player there, he would have got ganked and killed. So he was just playing a little bit defensively, which is probably what he kind of needs to do, because all he needs to do is get levels up and then go ganking. He doesn't need to try and dive to get kills right now, because Magnus isn't doing. He's doing okay, Magnus, but now that he's finally got his invoke, he's really shutting Magnus off.
Absolutely. Well, Magnus is level 6. He's going to pick up this regen rune. Nice play of the skewer. Although he just instantly gets cancelled. Is he going to die now? It looks like he is. The cold snap's gone on him. Is anything going to come out from Savage? He's not got enough mana. One more right click. It lands despite the high ground, and he gets the second kill on Magnus.
Yep, he finally gets the kill. That was a little bit lucky, actually, why he didn't chase him up to the high ground. There was no reason not to then. The last right click could have missed, and that would have given Magnus a free escape. But, yeah, they managed to get the kill, which was a nice play by the Invoker, and that's exactly what they need to do. They're now 2-0 up against Pussy Patrol, and Gyrocopter is the most farmed person on the map. So this is exactly what they need to do. They're playing very, very well.
Well, he's got his phase boots. A little surprising that the Gyrocopter hasn't gone for a Hand of Midas or something like that to emphasise his farm. Considering he's doing so well for farm, he could have easily afforded it, but he went for his phase boots instead. Obviously a little bit afraid for some reason, going against a single Darkseer, somebody really... But oh well, maybe he has his own reasons. Maybe he's looking more for a mid-game instead, and he just wants Clinks to get as much farm as he can as well. Looking at Clinks, he's got his Ring of Aquila. He's not having a very nice time, but he's doing so well considering. A lot better than the Darkseer. 16 to no, 16 last hits, and he's doing the best by stealing the jungle creeps. I don't think that the Stukiro is realising how well he's doing just taking the farm, because all he has to do is stay invisible and then take the biggest creep, and he manages to keep up, and that's what he's doing. So really, really beautiful play there by Clinks.
Yeah, and they don't even have another set of sentries, so they're not going to be able to spy him out and get the kills very often. I think Aaron FaZe realises, although Aaron actually does have sentries now, so I think he will almost certainly be trying to go for a kill eventually. He has 2 in his Shadow Word and 2 in his Fatal Bonds, so the Fatal Bonds are very, very good against Clinks. And to be fair, so there's the Shadow Word, because even if he goes invisible, it still hits him. Although look at the harass he's bringing down on this Sven. If he keeps moving forward, though, he's going to get caught, because they have a sentry there. There's the stun. The Ice Path comes on top. FaZe is going to die. FaZe does go down. And he got very aggressive. He just didn't check Aaron's inventory and see that he had the sentry wards, and he just dived them.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a shame there because he did so well. But how can you blame him? The damage that he already does is incredible, and he's doing such a good job in this offlane. He's really holding his own. Whereas the Darkseer has obviously struggled a little bit more. But I've got to say, before Dux is doing a great job. Every time his mana leaked, he makes sure he stays there before he surges.
I'm going to have to call it Savage coming through the water. Although, actually, they did realise. No, they couldn't have realised. They don't have a ward up. I think Dux is just playing very defensively and hanging with the creep wave. If he pushes back up again, Savage is going to be looking for the gank. Savage still hanging around, although he's actually gone now. I thought he would have stayed down just for a minute or two more, just to see if he could get the gank on the Darkseer, but he obviously doesn't feel like he can, and he's going to leave again. How do you like me now? Sorry. Has his arcane boots. The courier will be bringing them to him pretty shortly. Savage hanging around behind. He's going to try and go for him. Up comes the cold snap, although reverse polarity is up, and the skewer. So he uses a reverse polarity, and Savage gets caught under the tower and immediately just dissolves.
I think he may have forgotten the fact that Magnus can push him backwards, so initiating from behind, excellent play with any other hero, but from a Magnus, a little bit foolish that close to the tower, but so beautiful play from the Magnus. Can you believe that just happened?
Well, it was a really nice nice skewer to get him back to the tower. If he'd missed it, then he wouldn't have been able to get the kill. But he would have been able to get away regardless, just because of the skewer. It's very annoying spell. So a little bit of an odd choice of Invoker. I'm not entirely sure why. He obviously thought he had the right click, but the reverse polarity just got popped, and he ended up just getting killed because of it. We see Clinks now using his ultimate to pick off some of the jungle creeps while they're pulling and stacking. So nice play by him. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's really getting as much farm as he can, although he's not even started building his orchid yet. So his orchid's going to be very late, which is exactly what Pussy Patrol want.
Absolutely, he's doing such a good job to counter it, but unfortunately, unless these ganks come up more from all of them, Savage, strangely enough, coming up to gank top. He might want to remember this is a tri-lane. He's gone straight for the Sven. He's surely going to get it. Absolutely, no, there's the Warcry. Is he going to escape? No, because the great last right click from Clinks using the searing arrows does the damage, and they all escape. The rest of them escape, but that was amazing and a great way to counter that Sven's farm. Gyrocopter seriously getting in front now with 10 more last hits, sorry.
Yeah, 10 more last hits, and he hasn't died yet. So Gyrocopter getting ahead, exactly what he needs to do. And oh, look at Magnus though, really nice skewer onto FaZe. Can they get the kill? Yes, they do. Magnus is one more right click, picks him off. Nice play by Magnus. Came in from behind before he was invisible, pulled him into the tower, and that was a very easy kill. And if we have a look at net worth, Magnus is in the lead, only by about 100 ahead of Gyrocopter, but he is still in the lead. And Sven has a hand of Midas, so that's what he's gone for, and he's actually been able to keep up reasonably well because of it. He's only 400 behind the Gyro.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what the value of Hand of Midas. If you get in behind, it looks like they're going to take top tower. There's nothing to stop them. Somebody's porting in. Big mistake on their part. That was Clinks. I think he cancelled it because he knew exactly how silly that would have been. Good job by him as well, or it would have been just completely gone.
Yeah, and a nice gank bottom on the Darkseer as well. The Rubik came in from the side, and Chemistry popped his ultimate on him, and the Rocket Barrage did the rest of the damage for him. So Chemistry actually nets a kill, and that's going to really help his farm. He's almost as farmed as the Magnus. But look at Sven, after taking that tower at bottom, is now pretty much joined with both of them. So he is farming really well all of a sudden. Just came out of nowhere, and he got the last hit on that tower, I think. He did, and that's helped him a lot, that extra 500 gold.
Absolutely. Just seeing Savage doing a little bit of a juking there, getting the regeneration but making sure Magnus couldn't do it, and then just kind of leading him around. It looks like he's pausing for waiting for Clinks to come up. He was just kind of idling in mid. It would be really useful if somebody came up to help him now, because all of Pussy Patrol are coming. There's the Jakiro, and there's the Warlock, and they're just going to counter ward now to try and get a little bit more rune control.
Yeah, and Sven just continues to farm, so they haven't been able to shut him off as much as they want, although Gyrocopter is the most farmed hero in the game on 4.1k of net worth, now about 400 ahead of Sven, but Sven's about to get his Midas off of cooldown. That's going to help him an awful lot. So at the next creep wave, he will just be eating one of those creeps and running away, I expect. No, he actually won't. He'll just be straight up running away. Why he didn't use his Midas as soon as he could, I'm not entirely sure. Why he still hasn't used his Midas, I'm not entirely sure. But he obviously feels like he doesn't want to use it quite yet. But look at FaZe coming in from behind. Can they get the kill on Denied? Denied just pops the war cry and runs away. He still hasn't used his Midas, which is very weird, very inefficient farming. If he just popped it on one of the creeps straight away, you get the same amount of gold regardless of who you use it on. So very odd, but obviously he'd rather use it on a jungle creep, and there we go.
Yeah, he's trying to keep up in levels instead, which I've got to warn him, if he watches it back, it's much better to just keep the gold, because you want every last second of farm, especially when you're falling behind and gyrocopter and you've died before. But you know, if we look down bottom, we can see Aaron and Ninja both come in to help Dux. It looks like they're going to be trying to go against this tower, and they could quite easily take at least one of the supports down here. But no, Dux has been caught. Awesome telekinesis straight into the ulti, but Dux manages to get away with a surge. There goes everything from Ninja, and it manages to kill Chemistry for the first time. An Ice Path, a Jill Breath, and a Macropire managing to completely take him down.
Nice counter initiation by Pussy Patrol, and that's exactly what we were talking about. The initiation came out from Rubik, but then on the back of that, the Warlock with his ulti just completely destroys them. Why he didn't put up his Fatal Bonds, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe he thought that he didn't have enough time. If he'd put that up, maybe he would have got an extra kill or two. But FaZe versus Magnus in mid, Magnus just backs off, but FaZe and Savage now coming down bottom. So it looks like we're going to have a 4v5 while Sven just free farms top, which probably isn't particularly good for Entropy unless they can get something pretty huge. Magnus is still hanging around though. They can't really initiate into a Magnus. That would be rather foolish, but Aaron's just walked into the middle of them. He's going to get picked out before it even starts. Magnus has the Blink Dagger, only catches Chemistry. Now he has to try and run. He doesn't run. Chemistry pops the ultimate, picks off the Magnus. Now, and the Darkseer gets caught by Kotl, and they're 3-for-0. Really just sloppy play, I think, by Pussy Patrol. The Warlock just had no reason to walk into the middle of the jungle like that, and he got picked off very early into the fight, and they really did need him.
Well, so far it's been all about positioning, and this is the thing. You need to constantly be so careful, and exactly this, we're constantly seeing Darkseer being a little bit out of position, managing to escape with the surge, but Warlock went way too far. He's got no means of escape. His only real advantage is he needs a perfect positioning kind of thing, and then he needs to come in and use his upheaval the second he can, and his Fatal Bonds along with it.
Denied is now the most farmed player on the map, by quite a way actually, by about 400 gold. No, 600 gold in fact. He is really pulling ahead of everyone, and these stacked camps are gonna really help him as soon as he can get a few more levels and get his strength up. He's going to be destroying these camps. That's going to help him an awful lot, and he is really pulling ahead. They need to stop him soon, because he's going to dominate this late game if they let him farm like he is.
Yeah, absolutely. His farm is becoming ridiculous, and that is why he needs to be shut down. He's only died once, and that's the key thing. All of Pussy Control members can die as much as they want, but if that Sven stays alive, Sven is a hero that's so hard to carry. He can completely one-man win a game.
Yeah, he certainly can. He's just actually running back to base. He'll probably be porting back in to continue his farm, but he's just going straight for his BKB. He already has his Ogre Club, and now it looks like he's going for his he's picked up 2 healing cells so he can jungle a little bit easier and doesn't have to come back again. But yeah, it's very odd that they're just letting him. They haven't even gone to try and gank him. They know where he is. They know he's farming top and farming the jungle. They just obviously don't feel like they need to gank him. But look at Savage hanging around. He knows where they all are. Reverse polarity is up. If they go for Savage, they're going to get him. Nice blink by the Magnus, actually. Does he have reverse polarity? Is he even going to use it? He does. He catches Chemistry, gets the kill. But then the Magnus gets taken out, and the Darkseer, and Ninja gets taken out on the back as well. Savage doing a lot of work. Aaron not on a lot of HP, and the initiation from the Invoker tornado and catching everybody was just so well placed. That's what they need to keep doing to try and counter this Sven. They need to get their gyrocopter farmed more, and that's by getting kills for him. But he actually got taken out in that fight, so that's not going to have helped him at all.
Absolutely. Spectre really heavily into Wex's Invoker, and this is giving him huge amounts of map dominance, and that's exactly what he needs. He needs to be as fast as possible. He's got his 4-staff, so that's a little bit more HP regeneration, a lot more intelligence, and the ability to move around even more. Absolutely fantastic. And again, this is a game all about positioning. So Invoker's doing a lot better than he was to start with, and he's just completely taking control now. If we look at his net worth, he's coming up there at 5k.
Yeah, he's doing quite well, but Denied is really doing very, very well for himself right now. He's farming very well. He's on 84 and 6, but he's destroying these creep camps. He just walks into the camps and he absolutely destroys them with his cleave. He does a lot of right-click damage already, and as soon as he has his BKB, which probably won't be long. I mean, he's on not a lot of he's on 1400 now. Sorry, a few more creep camps certainly get him the what am I thinking of? The Mithril Hammer, and then a few minutes later, and he'll definitely have that BKB.
Absolutely. It just, completely noticed that amazing thing in the new update now allows you to see exactly where your fellow broadcaster's camera is. So that's awesome.
I noticed that.
But I just had to mention that. If anyone says that the Dota updates don't do that much, every time they're updating cool stuff, the Sentry would allow them to see him. Do they have any kind of vision other than that? They don't have any kind of dust. They're going to have to back off. Actually, they did have a dust of appearance, but Jakira didn't use it. I have no idea why. Maybe they just thought they couldn't catch him with 2 in Skeleton Walk. He is pretty fast, but not that fast. If Darkseer used Surge, they could have easily caught up.
Yeah, perhaps. They probably could have just tried to get him. They probably thought it wasn't really necessary, but Denied still farming very well. He has his Mithril Hammer, he has it sent to him, and he now already has another 500 gold on top of that. So he's doing exceptionally well. It looks like he might actually just be going for Savage. No, he's just he's going to let the creeps respawn and continue his farm in the jungle, while Savage does whatever he wants on lane. But this Sven farming very, very well, and they're going to need to shut him down soon. They need to get top and just help to lock him out, because they can't really do anything until they do. Although it looks like they've tried to initiate on Magnus. They're almost certainly not going to get Magnus. So this Clinks just starts destroying this tower as fast as he can. It looks like Dux is waiting around to try and get a deny.
Just going to have to point you to top where Savage is going to fall. If you just come up here, the amount of damage that came out, it looked like they'd finally got him, but no, Ghost walked to the rescue. Savage missed the tornado and Denied. So Denied just came in and storm hammered, and then out of nowhere Ninja came in, ice pathed. It looks like he fell, but no, this is the advantage of having Cosworks. The amount of HP, the amount of extra HP, he can just regen up so quickly, and the mobility of Wex. He's already in mid. He ported in. He didn't even need to because of how fast he is.
Yeah, and now Sven is starting to get more farm ahead of this gyrocopter. Now about 800 ahead. He's almost finished his BKB. As soon as he actually has his BKB, he'll finally have an item. But he needs to get it up soon, because seriously, he can't like Hand of Midas doesn't really contribute much to your net worth. So we do have to take away a little bit because he has a Hand of Midas. So him and Gyrocopter on pure power are about the same at the moment. Maybe the Gyrocopter is actually just slightly ahead. So it's an interesting one just because of the Hand of Midas. But you got to say that if Denied keeps farming like this, he's going to be absolutely miles ahead pretty soon.
Absolutely. He's now got his BKB. It's just coming to him in the courier now. So that's exactly what Pussy Patrol need. But if we look at Gyrocopter, what's he building instead of it? He's got his Yasha first, but it looks like he's going to be building up a BKB now. He bought a Ring of Basilius because obviously it does really help with the extra little bit of mana regen. Especially if Kotter was going to go for a more aggressive tactic of constantly illuminating. You need a little bit of mana regen as well, and it helps everyone out just in the lane, so it's a really good pickup.
Yeah, and you can see Denied still just farming up as much as he can. Nice Shadow Word being used on him actually, so he can regen a lot of his HP. So he's actually doing very, very well still. Sitting on 8k net worth now that he has his BKB. That's miles ahead of the Gyrocopter. That's that's about 1.3k ahead. It's almost the actual worth of a Hand of Midas. Now he is about the worth of a Hand of Midas ahead, and that's not looking good for Gyrocopter. That's not where you want to be right now. Not at all. Sven looks like now that he has his BKB, he's going to be joining the fight. So it looks like they might be trying to take the fight. FaZe, he doesn't have a clue that they have a sentry. They're going to catch him out. Huge. The rest of the team might be trying to help him. Although he has a lot of HP regen, they actually managed to get him away. The Shadow Word does it. I don't know how they didn't have enough damage to take him out. that was very, very strange. They managed to double stun him underneath the sentry ward. He still managed to get away.
Yeah, it's really, really strange indeed. But obviously Sven, not a strong hero until he gets either a Mask of Madness or an armlet up with his BKB. But probably best for him to go for an armlet, I would say. But it depends on what exactly he's going to go for. Either way, we're most likely to see crits up.
Here comes the initiation. Item. Here comes the initiation though. They've got the stun on the Magnus. Are they going to dive and try and get him? Savage is there. There goes the Kotl Illuminate. Savage gets the tornado. It hits denied. FaZe hanging around the back. Is he going to try and get denied? The pipe gets popped. There's the Orchid. Denied is going to die almost immediately. Surely he's on one right click. There he goes. FaZe is going to die to the Macropire. Round the back, Magnus and Dux on very little HP, and there goes the Gyrocopter. You see the power of Gyrocopter managing to pick them off with the flak cannon. And not a good fight for Pussy Patrol again. They just didn't manage to use that Magnus as they wanted. He used the reverse polarity, but it just didn't do anything.
Absolutely, and that's exactly the problem. With such a team that's so synergy, just defined by their synergy, they need to start being more synergized as a team. There's no other word for it. The Jakiro is always landing everything, but the problem is, if we look at the lineup, there are 3 stand-ins here, so they probably don't normally have as much coordination as they would otherwise. Everything could go so nicely in their favor. The Darkseer's Vacuum with reverse polarity is beautiful. It goes so nicely then with Ice Path and Macropire. You've got Fatal Bonds, everything, and the Stormhammer, everything is made to nuke down in one tiny amount of time, and they have the potential to do that. But unfortunately, Entropy's position is just simply better than Pussy Patrol's at this moment. They're keeping their position relatively well, and that is why they are in the lead at the moment. If we look at net worth and experience, anyway, if we look at an experience zone graph, we can see that there's about 6k ahead for Entropy, and in gold the same story, about 4k ahead.
Yeah, a lot of that gold is on the Sven that Pussy Patrol have. He's sitting on 8.1k. He has his BKB. He still has his Midas. He has 600 gold on top of his BKB, so he's going to be using that. He'll I don't know what he'll probably go for next. He could just go straight for crit. That would make a lot of sense. Although he needs something to stop this Clinks, because if the Clinks gets him, he just dies. Smoked up though. They're going to go for the kill. There's the war cry. They're smoked up. Do they have any idea? They don't. Kotl's going to get caught out massively. Life Clown is almost certainly going to die. There's the Sven stun. Nice gank. Magnus gets the last hit. The TPs come down bottom, but it looks like the rest of the team want to back out. No, maybe not. They still have Dux, who is completely smoked up. They have reverse polarity if they want to go for it. Do they know where chemistry is? Not entirely sure they do. They're just going to try and push this tower. FaZe hanging around underneath the tower. If they can pop a sentry down, they're going to kill him. Chemistry hiding in maybe one of the least safe spots I think I've ever seen in my life, and he finally actually backs off.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a funny place to try and hide, but if we look at Gyrocopter's items now, he's got the recipe for BKB first. I don't know if he's actually got the Mithra Hammer and the Courier. Let's check. No, he doesn't, so he's actually gone for the recipe.
They know where they are.
Him.
They know where they are. They're going to just dive them. Denied goes first. Does he have the stun? He does have the stun, but it misses him because of really nice use of the skeleton walk. Denied pops the ultimate. Does he have the damage? There's the ulti from the Warlock, and the damage is insane. Savage trying to do all he can. Savage gets dropped as well. Sven doing a lot of damage in these fights. He manages to get away on pretty much full HP. They didn't even touch him. A 3 for 3, but the Sven got a double kill and an assist. Not what they wanted. Not what they wanted at all, because they need to keep the Sven locked down. They don't want to give him 3 kills.
Absolutely. Really, just there you go. The first time that we've seen Entropy so heavily out of position with the Life Clan there. The big problem, just getting killed, and Chemistry's positioning in terms of hiding was just how is that a hiding place? But oh well, he managed to keep it for a little while. Of course, the second they spotted him, it was all over for them. But you've got to say, the real player here is the Savage, who seemed so strange in his ability builds in the start, is actually playing so nicely, and he managed to take down the Magnus. He managed to take down a few others in that fight as well, and he managed to actually make it even. So really nicely played by him, as well as the Clinks, who's also doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, the Invoker really did do very well in that fight. Savage playing very well on that Invoker. He's 427. He already has his Scepter up, so he's farmed very nicely. Denied, though. We got to keep an eye on him. He's on 800 gold. No, 800 plus gold. What's he have sent to him? I think it's the Chrysalis. It is a Chrysalis. So he has his crit now. He's going to be doing an awful lot of damage. More damage than he was in that last fight, which was absolutely ridiculous. And this Chrysalis could be absolutely huge. And if he can get a fast Daedalus, this team's going to drop very, very fast.
Absolutely, but I got to point out, FaZe now has his Orchid Malevolence. Is he going to die here? No, he's used his Skeleton Wall quite nicely too, and he's just going to back off as Pussy Patrol get the first tier 1 mid tower.
Yeah, they finally actually managed to get one of their towers, and Magnus has a haste rune bottled, so this could be very, very important. If he can, it will let him set up his reverse polarities a lot easier. I mean, he has a blink dagger, but that alone can't set up the perfect reverse polarity like a haste rune can. So he has got all the tricks that he needs now to be able to set up perfectly for this Sven to just dive in there and get a kill or two. Sven probably needs to go back to base if they're going to engage in a fight, or maybe not, because Aaron does have that Shadow Word, and they have at least 2 Arcane Boots. So here they go, smoked up again. They're going straight into their jungle. Is anybody actually in the jungle that they're going to find? They might find Chemistry if Chemistry decides to go round the back. He doesn't have his BKB yet. It's still being shipped to him, and that could be the decider. The Life Clown in a terrible position. Are they going to catch him? He's trying to jungle, and Magnus sees him now. There's the blink, the initiation. Life Clown gets dropped again. And that is really, really not what they wanted. They didn't have any vision of any of them on the map, and Life Clown started jungling the creeps on a keeper.
Oh, it was painful to watch. It really, really was. But unfortunately, that's one of the things. It was just really bad positioning. They put down a sentry. They know where FaZe is. Are they going to do anything against him? No, because FaZe is just backs out. That's the problem. Trying to deal with the Clinks. Although there goes the Tornado. Are they going to initiate? They're taking down Denied. There goes the Cold Snap, but the Ice Path catches them.
The polarity.
There's reverse polarity. And the Macropire on the top. And then there's Sven. Has he been empowered? No, he hasn't, but they don't need to. 5-0, and that all starts because Keeper was out of position. Learn to position, Keeper, please. But look at that damage. The Sentry Ward as well.
No, I have to think the thing that did that in the fight wasn't really the Keeper getting out of position. It was Entropy engaging in a really bad time. They tried to dive the Sven. The Ice Path caught them all, which let Magnus get a perfect reverse polarity. And Sven absolutely destroyed them. Well, as soon as that reverse polarity came out, and they also had the vacuum to pull them all back in again afterwards. The Sven Cleave absolutely destroyed their team, completely decimated them, and that is the problem we're talking about. This Sven, he's been allowed farm. He now has a Daedalus. If he goes and picks it up, he is going to probably pick it up. There's the Demon Edge, and there's the recipe. He has his Daedalus now, and this is just turning around so much for Pussy Patrol.
Well, look at that net worth now, 13k for Sven. Entropy, really strange that they tried to start that up. Starting when Sven has the high ground, never initiate a team fight on the high ground because it's never going to be that good. Madness is disconnected, so we're just going to pause for a second. But if we look at Gyrocopter, he's got his BKB now, but he hasn't got any further. He needs to build his Manta style if he wants any hope. Although it doesn't work nicely against a Sven. So it looks like with this lead, Sven may be very, very strongly in the lead, in the advantage. Chemistry is going to have to rely on a lot of teamwork from FaZe and that Orchid Malevolence to stop a Stormhammer coming out. Then he's going to have to use his own ultimate and hope that Sven doesn't have his BKB up for that cooldown for the slow. And then maybe, just maybe, they'll be able to cake out Sven from a range. Otherwise,
yeah, well,
it's not good for Pussy Patrol.
Well, they're going to have to rely on Chemistry not getting caught by Magnus, because even if he pops the BKB, that's going to do absolutely nothing if the reverse polarity hits him. So that's exactly what he needs to rely on now. They need to rely on Chemistry not getting caught out so that they can go for the kill, and it looks like they're just going for Roche. Denied is going for Roshan, and if they can get Roshan on Sven, they're in just such an amazing position.
Yeah, they really are. I can't actually imagine how they're going to counter this. Pussy Patrol actually looked like Denied was going to die for a second, but no, he did manage to get out of there. It looked like his own teammates blocked him, but they obviously weren't going to do that. This could be an easy Roshan. It looks like they're smoked.
FaZe knows.
Roshan,
There's the dust. They know he's there. They're just going to pick him off. how they knew he was there, I'm not entirely sure. They just randomly dusted and they caught him and he drops. Now it looks like they're going for it. Savage comes in around the back. Do they have reverse polarity? Yes, they do. I can expect Magnus to be diving in now to use it, but he's actually backed off. But look at the damage that Denied is doing. He three shots the gyro. He dives the rest of the team. Magnus with a reverse polarity. Is he going to use his blink dagger just to get in there and try it? It doesn't look like he is. They're just going to back off, but they get 2 kills, and now they have a free Roshan if they want it.
Well, let's just look where the Sentry Ward and the poor Ducks was pushed by that Illuminate.
Oh no. They're going to get caught out again. Magnus right in the middle. He tries to skewer. He has RP. Why are they all bunched up? If he can get an RP off, Sven can come around the back. He doesn't actually use it, and the Sven just runs away.
Yeah, that was quite lucky for Entropy being able to turn it around like that. They did a really great job of doing so. But Roshan's on a lot of health. I don't think they're going to have any real luck of trying to take him down if they want to. They can try, but it's very, very unlikely.
Yeah, I would doubt if they even tried to go for Roshan right now. I mean, we saw in the last game how important one bad Roshan fight could be. Can really just lose you the game. So they don't want to be risking that anytime soon. But I will ask, they just dusted. I think that dust was just random, was it not, to try and catch the Clinks? Surely they wouldn't have been able to see him from that ward on the high ground because he was quite far away. It would have just been a random dust, like, oh, let's check if he's scouting, and he happened to be there and they just picked him off.
Are you sure it was a dust? I'm pretty sure they saw him at the Sentry Ward.
Well, they definitely popped the dust.
Look at the site.
They definitely popped the dust. I saw the dust get popped when Clinks was here. And I'm pretty sure the Sentry wouldn't have been able to spot him from this far away.
Well, its range is... What is its range? It's
only
quite
about...
large. I mean, it goes with an Observer Ward.
I think a Sentry Ward's range is only 75, is it not?
75? Not with an Observer Ward next to it. I don't know. We'll cover that later. We'll let you know if we find out at all. But we'll work it out. Probably maybe the random dust. Maybe they saw Clinks come in. Maybe a little bit of a fast map awareness.
We can never be sure.
We can never be sure. But they're going back now.
Yeah.
Magnus skewering in.
They're just going straight back. They just want to try and take him. And the Sven can easily tank in. They have the Warlock and they have Warcry. Do Entropy know it's going on? They do. They have wards up. Chemistry D wards. And it looks like they're actually just setting a trap. They have Magnus with reverse polarity. They have Ducks on the high ground. They know when they're coming. If they can set up a trap, now they know they're there. There's the reverse polarity. It catches Chemistry. Denied straight in the middle. The vacuum wall. The vacuum, and the wall put down by Ducks. They managed to get a few kills. Roden getting away on very, very little HP. It looks like Ducks is quite easily going to pick him off. The Magnus actually gets him in the end. Savage hanging around. Savage is surely going to die. One skewer will get the kill. There's the skewer. They do get the kill. Double kill, and they just set the trap, and they used it perfectly. They didn't know it was coming. Now they're diving Life Clown, who's in not a very good position. Really nice ice path. Life Clown's going to get dropped as well. They get 4 of them. 4 of them for nothing. Triple kill. FaZe actually getting vacuumed in the Roche pit. But yeah, really, really nice bait by Pussy Patrol. Very, very nice play by them.
Yeah, it really, really is. And we just see FaZe trying to maybe steal Roshan. He's on such low health though. He was the only player actually of Entropy to stay in. They all just kind of got nuked down and Chemistry just went out. We probably should have at least laid a homing missile or something to try and help out. But
yeah, well,
they will just kind of get away. There
was really nothing they could do, and I expect them to pop the dust. They do. FaZe gets caught. He gets dropped. Now they pick up the Roshan. They actually end that fight a 5-0 and a Roche. And that was... The Clinks was hoping to get a free Roshan there, but they're too wise for that, and they popped the dust just before he got dropped. Just in case the Clinks was there, because they knew he was alive, and they do pick up another kill.
Absolutely, and if we look at Magnus now, he's very, very close to an Assault Cuirass. He's only got about 100 gold to go, and then he's actually going to get this, and he's got an Invis rune. So once he has that Assault Cuirass, God forbid anyone who gets in Sven's way.
If you actually just have a look at Sven's net worth, he is on 15,000 net worth. So that's just absolutely ridiculous. Got to remember he has 1k being sent to him in the career, and that doesn't count. So he's miles ahead of everyone else. 6,000 ahead of the Gyrocopter, who is the highest farmed on Entropy's team, and you can see why how much it's just been turned around because of one really farmed carry versus Entropy, who were very, very farmed, but it was just too evenly spread. They needed Gyro to have the bulk of it, and he just didn't.
Yeah, it really, really was. Of course, Savage was the person who did the most, and FaZe, and they needed Gyro to do more, unfortunately. Of course, with an Aghanim Scepter, being level 18 now, Invoker can be as much use as possible, but with only a 4-star as well. It'd be useful if he had some kind of other item, at least anything, but he's got 1.7k in the bank. He could buy pretty much most of whatever he wanted with that, so maybe unless he's saving for a Mystic Staff, maybe he'll go for a Scythe.
Yeah, perhaps that is what he's going for. I expected Darkseid to probably pick up a Cypher Vice just to try and counter more that Gyrocopter, because he's the only one that's going to be able to do anything in late game, or maybe even to counter the Clinks. There's no reason why they can't do that. But Denied picking up the Mask of Madness now, so he has insane attack speed when the reverse polarity gets popped down, and he could quite easily destroy them if they actually bother going for the reverse polarity. If he catches 4 or 5, then it's just game over with this Sven. They'll be able to destroy them in a few seconds and easily go down and get a Rax, and he won't even need to use his BKB. So it's looking a little bit difficult for Entropy to pull this back. There's no reason why they can't. They still have a Gyrocopter, and we know how good Gyrocopter is.
Well, they have every ability to, but they need their positioning to be better. It started off so well, and then we saw Lifeclan in particular, his positioning just fall and fall and fall, and just getting caught out.
Well, look at this again. Another fight.
Look at this.
And Denied destroying them in that fight. FaZe around the back manages to pick off Ninja, but I don't think that's going to matter very much. The Sven is still there. Where actually is the Sven? Has he just dived into the tower? He actually has just gone for it pretty much. FaZe still hanging around, but he's got to back off because there's no way he can take on this Sven. He is so farmed. He got another double kill. Absolutely destroyed him in that fight. Popped his Mask of Madness, and the amount of damage he did when they all got stunned down from the Warlock was absolutely insane.
Well, if it wasn't GG before, it may well be now. You can probably expect to see it. Although maybe they're going to go for it. There's another reverse polarity taking down the Rubik. My god, the blinking
really nice
obscuring difference. Chemistry's come in though. He's used his BKB. His ultimate is up now. Will he get to use it? Here it comes, surely. He's waiting for the Aegis to come back up on Sven. Is he going to do anything with it? Let's just see, they're lingering so close.
I don't even think Denied realised he had the Aegis M, because when he respawned, he just stood there for a few seconds as if to say, where the hell am I? He still hasn't popped his BKB. He finally pops it. Chemistry goes for the ultimate, but Denied just immediately disables it with his BKB. Goes around the back, takes out Savage. Almost one-shots Chemistry. He's only got 40 HP. He needs to back off. Leaves Magnus to get the kill. Denied manages to get away on 60 HP. And they get another 4 for 0, and Balls of Steel gets called by Denied as he stays in there for so long.
That was incredibly ballsy by him, and just how they didn't get him is beyond me. They should have. If Chemistry had maybe stayed for a short second, he would have got that, but Sven's got 5k. If he did die, it would have been a very easy buyback, and the only thing that would have dented was his buyback time, which would have been so useful for them anyway. Not killing him there may have been the deciding thing, but the racks weren't taken. There's been no racks taken yet. All Gyrocopter needs to do is exactly what he did before, and that was keep that positioning so nicely. And that's exactly what he did. He waited for He waited for Sven to come off. He used his ultimate. It's a shame Sven is a BKB there, or they would have easily gotten the kill.
Well, Sven's just picking up a Heart of Tarask. He can actually afford to pick it all up. He's going to the shop. Oh no, I think he might actually be 100 or 2 away, so he's just going to clear this Ancient camp and then go and get it. And bad news, if he can pick up a Heart of Tarask, he's going to be so tanky. He's already got 2.2k of HP. He's going to be on about 3k of HP, and Gyrocopter just cannot deal with that with the amount of farm he's got.
No, he really can't. We need Gyrocopter to get some other items very fast. Maybe the only hope would be if he managed to finish off this Mentor Style and then get a Butterfly, but let's face it, that's about, what, 8,000 gold, 9,000 gold more, and Gyrocopter just hasn't done enough this game.
No, he hasn't been able to. I mean, Chemistry he's still only got his Yasha and his Black King Bar, and he finished that about like 15-20 minutes ago, and ever since then he's just been constantly killed. And he just cannot get any more farm. He just there's no way he can get it. He's already had, I think he's already had to buy back actually. yeah, he's already had the buyback, so that's where most of his money's gone to. The death, the buyback, and then another death. It just hasn't gone his way whatsoever ever since the big team fight started. Magnus has the reverse polarity up. Does Warlock have the Golem? Yes, he does. So they are going to be looking for a fight very soon. Are they going to catch Roden? They don't have a gem or anything, so they can't actually see him. They're just going to go straight round the back. Oh, bad positioning by Savage. Can get caught. The stun. Sven coming round. He gets one. Look at the crit damage on that Sven.
What did you expect?
Well, this is the problem with Sven. The second he gets a Daedalus, harder to harass. Mask of Madness, BKB, but that you can just list every single item and say he's going to get more and more ridiculous. And with that Daedalus, the crits become monumental.
And with the Empower as well, giving him 50% extra attack. He has 183 plus 196 without his ultimate.
And then plus that.
Plus,
does that get bonus?
Yeah. Plus the 240% crits that he's going to be hitting every 1 in 4 shots. Completely ridiculous amount of damage. Are they just going to go straight up? There's the Gyrocopter ultimate. Doesn't even scratch them because of the pipe. And Denied just wailing on this tower. Trying to do everything he can. The mech gets popped. They still have reverse polarity. If they want to try it, they're going to just destroy this rocket before it hits Denied. And if they get out slightly out of position, Entropy, they're going to get caught by his reverse polarity. And that is what they're waiting for. Actually, maybe they're not. They're just swapping. They're going to try and take this top tower, and then they're going to push that out.
Radiant's top tower is under
Yeah, absolutely. They're just swapping the lanes, and there's not a lot that Entropy can do. They've got to, absolutely got to, make sure that Chemistry is not caught in any kind of reverse polarity. His BKB is up. It's got 7 seconds if he wants to use it again. That'd be amazing.
Oh, here they go. Here they go. The BKB gets popped on Sven. He just 3-shot Savage almost. The reverse polarity was so good, hitting 3, and Sven walks in, 2-shots them. Now tries Chemistry, backs off when he realizes that he just doesn't have the move speed. And here goes the first Rax, easily. Very nice reverse polarity. As soon as Sven got there, he one-shotted them with the crit. Got a double kill. And I don't know how the other one died, maybe to the Ion Shell. But there are the GGs. Entropy already know it's over. Pussy Patrol take the win. And you have to say, they just piggybacked this Sven to victory.
They absolutely did, and the funny thing is, Sven barely even needed to use his Mask of Madness through this game. The second Magnus got on the Sulcurus, it was really all over, especially with that Daedalus from Sven, because what can they do against it? Heart of Tarask counters all the extra damage that are going to be taken in, with that and the Sulcurus especially, from a Mask of Madness. The Empower, a perfect complement for Sven.
Yeah.
And his cleaves with that Empower does what? 120% of the original damage, so his AoEs can crit for as much.
Yeah, and you have to say that it was really Sven that won in the game. In the end, he was just so farmed, and we know how good Sven is in this version with his ultimate, which is completely ridiculous, giving him 200% extra damage. That's just completely insane. And with the Empower as well, it was just way too much when it came down to the team fights.
Look at his damage right now. There we go. Empower plus God's Strength. It comes out to about 700 damage without crits, so 240%. You almost get 2,000 damage.
Yeah, pretty much.
He gets
2k crits at this stage, and yeah, that he basically had a divine rapier up in every fight, but he couldn't drop it. It was just completely insane. That's the power of Sven. He just completely out-farmed and out-carried this Gyro by the end of the game. The team fights went perfectly. The Warlock Golem really helped him out an awful lot to set up their position. I mean, that Warlock Golem really did set up the initiation in most cases. I mean, a few times they did use a reverse polarity to start with, but the whole team was just so just synergized so well together, and they really did play very well as well.
Yeah, they really did. We have another game in almost just about 10 minutes, so we will see you
fantastic.
Very shortly soon. But it's an absolute pleasure to cast a really fantastic game. Pussy Patrol get the win. Mainly don't. A game of positioning, almost definitely. Make sure you watch. These kind of games are absolutely perfect to watch if you want to improve your own skill and if you just want to watch some great kind of tense games. But I'm not just delicious. I'm Rakentor. With me is the absolutely beautiful and incredibly talented and rather sexy Just Delicious, and we'll see you in about 10 minutes.
We will see you very soon. Take care, and I'm signing off. Goodbye.